me see you what? Your grills, Rod the jewelry store and tell her to make me grill. Hey, about time now.
Go ahead, brother.
Rob the jewelry store and tell him make me a grill. I'ma tell you, Marvin, you didn't come back. I thought you got coronavirus in the fucking FL.
What's that?
Florida.
Say what you said again.
I thought you got coronavirus in the FL.
Sounds terrible.
I don't give a fuck what you think.
I thought you were a professional rapper.
Oh, I rap gifts like Christmas gifts. I don't rap. You got the wrong kind of
So you rap for kids?
Yeah. Toes for tots.
Hoes for thoughts? What'd you say? Hoes and
Well, Marv. You got your little show going on. And I'm going to go ahead and just tell you that you missed last week. What's going on with you? What happened
Hey,
to
man.
you?
I'm back from Florida. COVID-free, nigga. Fuck all that shit. The sun kills it. Fuck what you heard of Dr. Fauci. Fuck what you heard in the
When
news.
you came in the airplane, did they have any special procedures?
Oh, yeah. They have the little sanitizing air that cleans everything.
But do they test you?
Nah, you just gotta wear a mask and shit.
On the plane, right?
Yeah. When I first left, somebody took my temperature, but after that, it was when we were leaving Florida, it was just you gotta wear a mask. But everywhere in Florida, every single where except for, like, besides being at the pool, you had to wear a mask. Everywhere. Like, they wouldn't let you in the hallways of the place we were staying without wearing a mask. You had to wear a mask everywhere. You weren't allowed in any place without a mask. So the spikes, I guess people have caught it or have it, but I don't think it's as bad as they say it is.
Well, you don't know that.
They might have closed down the beaches. Turn the music down a little bit.
100 cases in one day.
But do you really believe that? Because
Yes,
think about all the shit that they were.
Marv.
Think about all the shit they were saying when people were dying and they were writing off regular deaths as COVID deaths just because they may have had it or they had the antibodies for it.
But now it's a little bit more controllable because there's systems in place now. Before, everybody was going crazy. That's what a pandemic is.
Yeah, but even the people that were telling us to do shit, like Dr. Fauci, he even said it himself that they were telling us, he was telling us not to get masks, not to wear masks. We didn't have to wear masks because the reason he said that shit is so that the the doctors and the nurses were able to buy the mask. And after they had enough, then everybody, all the officials were saying you have to wear a mask. You have to wear a mask.
Well, they played everybody clearly.
So they fucked everybody. So how I can't sit here and I can't say, me personally, I can't say I believe all the shit that they say.
No, but I mean, the thing is, I still hear people.
You gotta get on the mic, bro.
I still hear people dying because of it.
I haven't heard anybody dying a bit.
I have. I heard.
Not recently. Not me personally.
Last week, my mom's cousin died from it.
Really?
Yeah, and then somebody else told me too that one of their family members died too, and this was just last week. So I don't understand where you're coming from. Just because you don't know somebody doesn't mean.
But I'm not even hearing about that many cases of people dying. I'm hearing people catching the virus. I'm not hearing people about dying from the virus.
You know what?
And at the beginning, they were saying you need to be on ventilators when you catch it, but then they found out that the ventilators end up killing you because your body stops breathing for you. So then, when you get off the ventilator, you end up dying because
if you're gonna die, you're gonna die. I get it.
I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's as simple as you say it is.
I think if you can avoid something, avoid it. If you have to.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I agree with you on that.
Do you really have to go on vacation and contribute to it?
I wasn't contributing anything.
Yeah, you were. You were there.
You say that because I went on a trip. Yeah, but you don't know that I wasn't. If I was being safe or not.
That's the most.
Everywhere you went.
No, actually, Virginia is not even that bad.
You didn't even hear me. You didn't even let me finish my sentence.
I'm going based on the news.
You didn't. Everywhere you went in Florida, there was hand sanitizer, alcohol wipes. Fucking, you had to wear a face mask everywhere. So it's not like you would go somewhere and you could just freely be how you used to be. It wasn't like that. You know, we went on a fucking boat ride, like the boat ride to go see all the famous people's homes. And there was, before you got on the boat, you had to wear a face mask, get alcohol on your hands, you know, all that shit. There's precautions in place.
Yeah, but that's just to help eliminate. It don't mean it's gonna fucking.
But then
it's not 100%.
Yeah,
it's like a condom. It's not 100%.
I guess. Yeah, but on top of that,
yeah, what?
Like everything that we've been hearing about the fucking virus has been in a way incorrect because we haven't got the real facts from the beginning, from China.
Well, honestly,
and they said it came from a fucking bag when it really didn't. It came from a fucking laboratory. So a lot of researchers have gone on a lot of places and even said that if the people that have the virus and have stayed inside and had the virus spreads faster while you're inside. So that's how all these elderly people were dying while they're in the elderly homes and they were catching a virus. The UV light shit? Remember how when Trump said that shit? It was actually true. Like, there's been tests on the coronavirus where they put in UV light and a couple seconds later it fucking dies. So being outside is better for you than being inside. I'm not saying go be next to 100 people, but
no, I get it. But the thing is, everybody's immune system is different.
Yeah,
and it activates different on everyone.
Yeah,
just the same way it disappeared on one, it grew on another.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Okay, and then the next thing I'm about to say is.
About the fucking, teenagers or kids, I don't know where.
Hold on. Before you say it, that's one of the things I'm about to bring up. But
let's do it.
Yeah, because that's one of my news.
Get into it.
But another thing, the big spikes that we're seeing, they're not even.
There's actual numbers.
Hold on. Yeah, there's numbers, but they're not even contributing it to the protest. So a lot of places where there's been big protests at, Texas, Florida was one of those big protest places. We have been one of those big protest places. Los Angeles has been one of those big protest places, and a lot of these places are spiking. Atlanta, all these places has seen big fucking spikes in.
Yeah, but
within
DC still closed.
Yeah, why do you think?
Because of the protest.
Yeah, so
and you don't see a spike there.
There is a spike. Virginia's been less. They said Virginia is one of the best, but DC has seen a spike. All these places, all these cities where they've been protesting, there's been a spike. Even in the news, you know what's fucked up? In the news, they said, if you're not a protester, stay at home, whatever, you know? But they didn't. You're fucking out there protesting, you're screaming, you're yelling at people. Your fucking spit is going off.
A lot of them had masks on. A lot of those people had masks on.
People that were in protest, they said that they haven't concluded that there was a spike because of that.
There has been though.
No, I was reading that.
They don't say that because of everything that's going on. But all the places that have had big protests, there's been a spike.
No,
they don't contribute it to the fucking protest.
The reason why Florida and Texas have huge spikes again is because they went against the.
They were the first people to open.
They say fuck it. In May they opened beaches and shit like that, you know, and that's why now they're back down. Now they're back to square one. Because they went against all, you know.
Okay,
they did.
Okay,
they opened like in the middle of May.
All right, you just said it right, May. So then we should have seen big spikes in them in the beginning of June.
It takes time.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
That's why I asked you earlier.
2 weeks, right?
It takes time.
2 weeks, right?
It takes time, dude. You could be feeling great for a fucking 10 days after you caught it.
2 weeks. So if they open up in May, listen. Okay, you guys aren't trying to listen.
Are revealed.
Back in May.
You don't know that. I know it don't happen.
May, June, July. We're 2 months away from when they open, right? You're saying they open up in May, then they should have been huge spikes in June. Why are there big spikes now? Because of the fucking protest.
Nah,
bro. This okay.
It's because they opened way early.
No, you're not. Why would it be because they opened earlier? Why would it?
There was a lot of protests here in Washington D.C.
But we're closed.
And they have not been those huge spikes here in D.C.
Because we were closed.
Yep.
But these big spikes that have been happening have been the big protest places.
Okay,
When did the protest
start?
I
want to say like
The end of June. No, the middle of June.
No.
The middle of June.
Probably.
No,
when did
they
George
didn't.
Floyd die? When did they kill George Floyd? When did they murder
May.
him?
June.
No, they. that was
Look
in
it
May.
up.
I think it was the beginning of June.
Yeah. So then those spikes, if those states were open,
No.
the
Find out
the big
and then
spikes would
talk.
have happened in the middle of June. You're saying that 10 days from where they open up, right? That would be the time that you contract
It's
the
not 10
coronavirus.
days. It's minimum 2 weeks.
Okay, 14 days. Then it will be in the middle of fucking June that the big spikes will happen in those states. Why are they happening now? Because
Well,
of the
find
protests.
out, then, and you'll find out for sure.
It's common. It's just not like just look at it. Look at the facts.
Marv, you can't talk about something that you don't know. You only
But you're
have
acting like
ideas.
you know. You're
No.
acting like you know.
We can only try to buy time to stop the virus.
May 25th is when George Floyd died.
Exactly. Those protests started literally that same week.
Yeah.
In D.C.
So then when 14 days after he died,
But
when would those spikes have hit?
But remember,
In
all those places were closed.
Okay. But he just
Florida was open when those protests started.
okay, yeah. Exactly.
They weren't open here.
Okay. Then listen. Okay.
If they're closed, people can't congregate in places.
Okay. Listen. Those places were open, right? George Floyd died on the 25th of May. If they were open, those states were open before George Floyd died, don't you think we would have seen a huge spike in the beginning of June?
They might have.
Mid-June.
Okay, but then that was more of a reason to congregate.
That's when we were on lockdown.
No, because
We were on lockdown in May still here and in D.C.
but Texas was opening up. And Texas,
Shit,
Florida,
they're one of the
Atlanta,
states.
those were the first 3 states to open up.
And where do you think those big cases are right
Okay, back in May, the beginning of May, they opened up, right?
now?
Or around the end of May, right?
Around that same
Okay,
time.
so don't you think we would have seen a huge spike in the middle of June?
We were still closed. D.C. is still closed.
I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about those states that you see.
They opened.
I'm
That's the reason you see the spikes.
Dude, listen.
No, they were opened.
Okay, if I can't even speak and try to
No,
tell
they
you
were
what I'm trying to
fucking
say.
open. When did Florida open?
Like May, middle of May.
Okay, so there you go. People congregated.
June. Okay, middle of May would have been June that we would have seen a huge spike in
They've
Texas.
been talking about it.
What month are we in?
We just hit July. We were just in June 4 days ago.
Okay, but there was no talk about no
Yes,
spikes.
there was. Yes. Dude, when did you leave to Florida?
Fucking
Please
Last
don't
week.
tell me July. You were still in June.
June 27, 28.
Okay, they were already talking about it on the news.
No.
Yes, they were.
They were talking
Yes,
about.
they were. Because the second that you said that you were going over there, I told LER, I was like, why the fuck is he going there if it's spiking like crazy over there?
Okay.
And that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
still in June. So
Yeah,
what
right
the hell?
before
When
you
did they
left,
open up
right
Florida?
before you
Hold
left.
on.
Right before you left, they stopped the selling alcohol in bars because they wanted to.
You're correct. Yeah, yeah.
close
You guys
That's
are
bars
still
down.
June.
You
You're
can still buy alcohol and drink it at home, but they weren't selling it in bars.
Yeah.
Shut that down.
No, they were still selling in bars.
But
You just had to be outside and wear a mask.
That still was June.
End of June, right? So, okay, listen. The protest started what? May 28th, let's say, right? Mm-hmm. When did Florida and Texas open up? You said what?
like May 2nd, May something like that.
Okay,
Okay.
let's do the math. If we would have seen huge spikes, even let's say 21 days after, right? So we would have seen the huge spikes on May 24th, May 25th. We would have been hearing about big spikes.
I'm gonna tell you something, but go ahead
And-
and finish. I'm gonna tell you something.
And we were hearing about there was concerns about spikes, but they were still following protocol and they were still keeping 6 feet. They were you could only eat outside, you could only do this, right? Then what happens? George Floyd dies. They murder him, and then what happens? We have huge protests. People are shoulder to shoulder protesting against police, and what happens? 2 weeks later, we start 2-3 weeks later. From there, we start seeing a huge spike.
But we haven't seen that huge spike.
Okay,
here.
but I'm gonna say something. Are you done?
We haven't
What's
seen
the
that
spike?
spike
Okay,
here.
Google the spike for.
No.
Google the
let me tell you the difference.
No,
though.
actually Google the spike for DC. We'll see what the infection rate in DC is.
All right. Well, you said something, so now I'm gonna say something. Okay. Yeah, you are right. Okay.
How would it?
The thing is, remember that we are in July, right? We didn't open second phase until around the.
We're about to go into
week.
third phase. In
Okay,
Virginia.
exactly. But we didn't just open the first phase, the second phase, till 2 weeks ago, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to understand that before that, you had 2 weeks of protest before that, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now.
When was that?
Okay.
The 2 weeks of protest.
Check this out, though.
When
Now,
did that begin?
May
what? May. Let's say May 28th.
Okay. Okay, check this out, though. You're expecting 2 weeks after here, but check this out, though.
I even gave you guys
No.
3 weeks.
No, check this out. Okay, so that happened like practically almost by June, right? You're only counting 2 weeks. Check this out.
I said 3. I even gave you guys 3.
Okay.
When the
check this
states
out.
opened up.
Okay, but even after
May
3
2nd.
weeks,
That was
hasn't
when
been
George Floyd died.
But there still hasn't been a spike because they just opened 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Said,
You talking about the
Okay,
state?
go ahead and
We're talking about Florida.
Two
We're talking about
months-
Florida,
2 weeks
Texas, and
later
Atlanta.
counting,
It-
there is still no COVID surge in the DC area after protest.
Okay.
It said that new cases of COVID-19 in Washington continue to trend downward. This week, we saw the lowest number of new cases since the very first days of April.
Because they're closed. They're closed. Florida was open.
Yeah.
It's that fucking simple, Marvin.
Okay,
I don't
but-
understand why you don't understand about that. They're closed.
And you know how
People
this
can't
was a big
congregate.
protest here.
Okay.
They could, when that thing happened, that they can congregate because places were open in Florida. So yes, people met up in places, and because they can meet up in public places, they could not do that in DC because they were closed.
Okay.
That's the difference.
I understand that.
Thank you.
I understand that. But what were the rules for being open? Tell me.
When it's closed, it's closed. You could go and protest all you want, but
No,
you can't congregate.
DC was open patio.
No.
Yeah, they
have
were.
not.
Not until Facebook.
Dude,
No.
I drove through DC before I left.
They shut all that down.
Okay, but okay, you're right. All right, let's say I'm gonna agree with you. DC was shut down. Arlington was open. Arlington was open on the patios.
Nah.
Yeah, they
were not.
were.
Nope.
Bro, yes, they were.
They were not into June, the second week in June.
Okay,
Phase 1 started.
Phase one, yeah,
okay. You're right, right?
yeah.
Let's say, okay, you guys are right.
Can let me get a beer, please? Because
You're right, right?
the thing is that there was protests here, but
There were protests all
but
around
we
the
were
world.
Not, but we were not in that phase that Florida was in. They were already advanced. So when that protest happened, people can congregate and do things. Not here. They could not congregate.
Okay.
Public places were closed.
Okay, I understand that. But even in Florida,
That's why there's those spikes over there.
okay,
That's
but even in
central.
Florida, you're not allowed to be within 6 feet of nobody, just like how the rules say.
It doesn't matter, Marv.
That's how the fuck it is
It
here.
doesn't matter.
How does it not matter? Because the same rules
we
are here.
opened after they did. So if we continue to do everything, yes, it's gonna spike here in Virginia the same way as Florida.
Okay.
It's just gonna take longer. But because less people were out here because of places were closed, we might not have that spike.
When
but
the first-
they opened before
Okay.
every other state.
Yeah. I get that. I understand what you're saying, and I understand
they
that.
didn't give them some
I understand
time.
what your point is. I understand that your point is that because Florida, Texas, Atlanta, every one of those states that I just named, California, some of those places open up and they open up patios. That there's been a spike because they open up earlier, and that's
They
what you're
give it
saying.
time.
That's what you're saying, right?
We
That's
gave more time, so there's less cases.
yes,
It's that simple.
that's exactly that's what you're saying, right? So can you please Google when the first spike after reopening in the first couple states were?
Wait, what?
So Google when did
Florida reopen,
Florida reopened and when was the first spike in corona?
and then you'll get some type of a timeline.
Yeah. let's see a timeline, because.
But remember, the timeline is not accurate for the simple reason that they didn't give enough time.
How would it not be accurate? This is the same timeline that you're going off of.
No, you gotta understand that you gave this bottle a lot more time to recover, so he ain't gonna affect the rest of the bottles. The other states gave more time for their bottle to recover, so he's gonna affect.
We're
less.
talking about a timeline.
That's what I'm saying. You can't. Those timelines.
Okay, explain it, because I think I'm thinking about it a different way.
Okay. Your phone is Florida. My phone is VA. They opened beforehand, so people were still infected and passing it on to each other, regardless of the fact. So it's going to take longer for it to downsize, right?
To hit the curve and go down. Right.
Virginia took a lot longer, so they have less infected people. So their spike is going to be a lot less because they took a longer time to reopen. It's that simple. Regardless if there were protests or not, there was less people infected in those protests because they took longer. Even those places were closed, like D.C., Virginia was closed. When those protests happened, Florida was open. So you gotta understand that they started beforehand. There was.
When did we stop protesting in D.C.? Like 2 weeks ago?
No, it's been the whole month.
No, they said they're still they were protesting the whole month, right? It has come down a little bit in D.C. when 2 weeks ago, right? Right before I left to Florida.
Let's just move on, because
you're right. I think we should move on because
it's not.
We're not gonna agree on this.
Dumbass teenagers that.
We're not. Okay, yeah. That was my next thing. Sit down.
Fucking hold.
All right, so
19 parties.
Did you hear about that shit?
What? What's the?
All right, so speaking about this fucking COVID shit, which I thought we were never gonna fucking do again, because.
Well, apparently this is what's going on in our lives.
All right.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're gonna talk about it.
So. These motherfuckers in Alabama told what is it? Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Of course.
These motherfuckers in Alabama are throwing COVID parties, bro. Look at this shit right here. They're inviting they're encouraging people that have the coronavirus to come to the party, and the first person to get the virus, they put money in a pot. Uh-huh. All these kids that are, I think it's like a college or some shit, they're putting money in a pot, and the first person that gets coronavirus gets the money.
They won't be able to track that, though.
Yeah, they will. The first person to start showing symptoms and has to go get tested and comes up
they're
positive.
All gonna come up at the same time.
But that's what they're doing. Well, it just happened, 2-3 days ago, right? Mm-hmm. And officials have just started learning about it, that they're doing these fucking parties. These fucking idiot kids. Right?
Are you sure they're idiots or they're smart?
How? Because they're getting the antibodies?
Well, when you have chicken pox and you want your kids to catch it because you want them to catch it when they're young, because if you get chicken pox as an adult, you're gonna might be die.
It turns into something, right?
Yeah, it turns into something else.
Measles?
I was reading that they say that, well, maybe, they're doing something good because, they're trying to be immune to it. They're trying to get it. Okay, and then, just be immune to it. But the thing is this, though.
Get the antibodies?
You only get it once time in your life.
Exactly. We don't know about this.
Right here,
but you got to understand, though, when chicken pox also started, we didn't know about it neither. We learned about it through generations. So they're going to learn about this virus through generations also. So we don't know that yet. It's just new. It's unknown.
But that's how they started the first.
It's just that there's an idea, but that's a theory, and then they're just trying to figure it out if the theory will work.
In a dumb way.
But honestly, I don't believe that's their intention.
Okay,
no, that's.
I don't think that's what their intentions are.
You don't know that though.
I don't believe that's what their intentions are. But the first antivirus that we started developing was like. I think it was like some fucking disease that was killing the Westerners, and they used to ride around in wagons with somebody that had caught whatever the fuck it was, and they would cut the person and put the virus in them, and that way you would get the antibodies to fight the fucking virus.
They still do that when you get a flu shot.
That's what the flu shot is, right?
Exactly.
And that's why you get sick when you get the flu shot.
Of course.
You can never
get rid of a virus. Only bacteria.
There's no
cure for viruses.
Yeah.
Only bacteria. Once you have it, you have it. The difference is it's dormant in your body, and it will always be there in your life.
Herpes.
Well, I was.
I'm just
You know,
fucking. I was trying to
No,
make
it
funny.
will always
I'm pretty
be
sure
there.
we
I was
all
trying to
got
make
You
it.
might not have outbreaks, but you still have herpes.
I'm pretty sure we all have gotten, gotten it and shit like that. But
I feel like that. Like, we probably all have had it.
Strong and shit like that, bit because A, we're active. B, we drink alcohol, this and that. C,
Yeah, but
you
what
know-
about older people?
No, I know that, but I'm talking about us. I'm pretty sure like we've gotten it and shit like that. I know. I'm pretty sure I think.
I think I've gotten it.
I've lost the sense of fucking smell and taste a few times.
What?
Yeah, though. You haven't had that?
Nah.
I haven't had that.
Dog, I'm like, shit don't taste like nothing.
What have you been eating?
No,
Ass?
anything. Like, you know, like, I could eat a fucking.
Nigga be
like,
nasty, but like, this don't taste like ass.
I could eat like a Big Mac and be like,
Did you wash before you came into bed?
I don't taste it.
What is this?
Honestly, we
Adam
don't-
and Eve?
Comes back.
Honestly, we could all say what we want to say. We don't know. The truth is, we all.
We should
could
all
have
get
it.
tested. The antibody test and go
The
see.
thing is, you go to these places, you could catch it just by going to get tested.
Nah, now they do it outside.
It doesn't matter.
They come up to your car.
And you don't have to do the whole nose swab. They got something else now.
Where do they do it? I would like to get that tested.
You wanna go?
I'll go.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Hospital has them sometimes.
Yeah,
Let's go. When do you
Let's
wanna
go.
Tuesday
I'm free Tuesday all day.
or
You gotta
Monday?
see what-
Tuesday. I'm free Monday in the morning.
be
Actually, I
prepared
have to
a
work
little bit
Tuesday.
To wait.
I don't-
Monday in the morning. Let's
We can
find
do
out.
Monday in the
Let's
morning.
find out. We'll
We'll go because we can talk about it on the
Yeah,
podcast.
you're prepared
What-
to get that.
but we'll record
Hold on,
it
what?
too.
It's a fucking giant.
Nah, now they don't even do it like that. They do something else.
What?
They
That's
don't.
the only way I know they do.
No, they
Nah, if it's
they
like
found
that,
another
I'm
way.
not going there.
Mhm.
They found another way, but they're testing for like antibodies, so they see if you've
Nah,
Had it or
in
not.
a way, they a long Q-tip, and they go in there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Dog.
There's been people that been like gagged.
I can't.
And shit like
I
that.
can't.
Bro,
I
it's-
can't. I have a gag reflex.
Oh,
I-
you're gonna be
I
gagged.
it
can't
don't
do that.
matter. Do you want to find out if you have it or not?
Yeah, but it's gonna kill me because
No, it's not, bro. It's 1 second,
I'm not doing that.
bro.
Now, if they have another way, then yeah,
You've had a shot before, right?
I'll take a shot. but
Yeah.
I
Then what the hell? Will you take one?
He's talking about getting a Q-tip.
Dog, it's not
fuck
all
me.
the way. It's to like right here. They stick it to like. I'm not gonna touch your face, but it's like right here. They just the inner your
can't do
the
that.
canal of your nostril. They just swab it,
Yeah, I don't know.
and they
about
find out that because you know all your boogers are fucking bacteria, so they fucking.
that. They don't got another way.
But they did find another way. I just don't know what the fuck it is. But that's they got a new testing method.
Yeah, that'd probably be best.
Yeah, but I want to go do it. You want to go do it?
I'll do it, but if it's still like that, no.
We found out. I'll find out, and then I'll hit you up
Find
tomorrow.
out, but if it's like that, I ain't going.
I'll hit you up tomorrow. We can go do it.
Fine. Let's end this jump.
Nah, we got a couple more joints. Dog, did you hear about this fucked up? I know. I've been posting about it. I've been following the story since the fucking beginning.
Oh, I actually did read about that.
Is Vanessa Guillen? I've been having trouble pronouncing her last name and I really don't want to fuck up her last name because I feel so fucked up about what happened to her. You know.
But why do you think they did that to her?
Well, the first
It's Gillian or Gillian?
I thought it was Gillian,
Gillian.
but it was
Maybe it's Gillian. It looks like she's
Gillian?
Latina.
But Lur tells me is you leave out the U, so it's Gillian.
Gillian.
But
Like Lillian.
yeah, it's
So, yeah, I haven't seen that. I didn't pay too much attention to it
Vanessa Gillian.
into recently when they actually found the body.
With the breaking news stuff.
Yeah.
I've been following from the beginning, man. And
No, I saw it from the beginning, but I didn't pay attention to it.
So let me
But-
tell you.
Let me ask you something.
All right, go ahead.
Before we start, do we know a motive? Or we still don't?
Yeah, there's been.
What is the motive? Because I don't understand.
Well, let me tell you that from the beginning it was kind of weird, right? So
Well, we don't know anything.
Fort Hood's Army base is out there. It's like a day from here to there. If you want to drive, it's like 24 hours.
Okay.
You know, I've known somebody that's gone to that base and has been at that base. Nothing weird, but but that's why it resonated. You
But
know,
did
like
she do something to deserve
so.
it?
I don't think definitely not like that.
Or was it a
So-
sick person that did something to her for her not doing much?
I think it was a fucking asshole that lost his fucking temper.
But why? Because she didn't want to give it up or something?
Okay, so what we heard from the beginning was that she was missing. Vanessa was missing. And her keys, her bank card, her security card was all found at the job site where she was at, the armory. So it was like she never left there. So, but nobody had been searching shit. It had been like a month. Nobody had searching shit, and then it went to social media, and that's when everybody started posting it, and then they started doing investigations.
I think the mom was a big contributor.
The sister and the mom.
Yeah.
And the sister was a big in it, that she took it to social media and she made it out there, right? She put it out there, and everybody else started like trying to find her and forcing it on the army base to find her.
What did the army base do to help?
So at the beginning, I don't think they were doing much. They were just like, watching it grow until they had to do something. But before she went missing, I think she filed a complaint, and she was telling her sister and her mom that there was somebody that was sexually harassing her and making her feel awkward at work and making her feel like shit.
And nobody did nothing about it.
And nobody was doing nothing about it. It was I think like a sergeant or something like that she was complaining about, or like a higher up. And they were like,
what the fuck?
And they were trying to file an investigation on that. Finally, social media picks it up, and it starts snowballing. In a matter of like 3 to 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
We're here now, right? In 3 weeks, we're here now, and I think last week they started doing a search, and they found somebody buried, not like a mile away from the army base.
No, it was actually 16 miles.
16 miles? No, for her it was like 16. I think it was like 20 miles. It was by a river.
Okay.
But they found somebody a mile away buried. It was a guy that went missing, I think, a year ago. I forget what his name is, and I'm sorry.
Because there's movies like this.
Yeah, and I hate to forget his name because it's out of respect. I don't want to feel like I'm disrespecting somebody.
Yeah, but you're saying it, so yeah.
So then they find his body, and they think it's the remains of this guy, and then
this woman.
They thought it was her remains, but it wasn't. It was the remains of this other person.
But was he also?
No, I don't think he was involved in it. It was a year.
No. Was he also in that military base?
Yeah, he was a soldier.
So don't you think that?
So that's why everybody's like, "Damn, something's going on at Fort Hood."
Clearly.
And all right, so then like a week later, this week, so it's been like a week and a half. I guess they found like a couple suspects. They start doing their research. They see where their phones were pinging off each other. They were like texting each other, and it was by the Leon River, I think, in Texas. I think that's the name of the river, but it was by the river, 20 miles outside of Fort Hood. And they find like a burnt site where it's a big burnt bag. And they start finding remains that were inside of concrete.
Concrete, yeah. Which is very hard to desecrate.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you put it in concrete,
Well, it's hard to find the remains. Even after it was dismembered and burned, like they tried everything.
No, I didn't read that part, but
they tried everything apparently there is
I thought
they pulled the body out.
Well, they dismembered her.
Yeah, they did, and they put her in some type of a case.
They put her in a Pelican, extra large case that was like for a weapon, and then.
And they took that out, and there's video of that. Now, she probably was already dismembered, and
I don't think she was, because if you Google the Pelican case that they did, it's like the size.
Okay, so it's
like half the size of this table, and this. It's like
they put her in
so they put her in. Well, the story goes from the new shit that came out today that the story went is that she confronted the guy that
but why would
was
she go
having
by
like an affair, and she was talking shit to him, and I guess he got pissed and just hit her, and then I guess he just kept fucking hitting her and fucking murdered her in the armory.
But I'm pretty sure somebody knew that there was fucked up situations going on, but nobody cared to say anything because maybe they were waiting on some type of funding.
She filed a complaint, I think, and nobody did anything.
Yeah, but you gotta understand that when there's issues in certain places, And
they try to keep it.
They try to contain it within themselves because it could affect their funding. It could affect this or that. Somebody there didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think somebody should be accounted for, not just the person that did the fucking
Well, I think
mistake.
the people that she filed a complaint with should be held accountable.
Of course. You know why?
I think that's where it would
because they didn't
start.
take it seriously. Dude, you know what? It takes great courage to go
So even stand up and say something.
and say that somebody's doing something to you. Because a lot of women have probably gotten raped in this world and they don't say anything. And the fact that she actually stood up and did it, and then next thing you know, she gets killed and nobody does something. Dude, honestly, something definitely is going on there. You know?
Yeah.
There's definitely something fishy. And you know what? Regardless of the fact, I think whoever the fuck did it obviously is going to burn in hell. But also, if somebody comes to you and tells you something, dude, and you don't listen to it, you should also burn in hell too, because you're just
you're just as guilty as the
you're just
person
as
that's
guilty.
doing it, because you're
Somebody
not doing
literally
something.
just fucking
It's
told
your
you what's
job to
going
help
on.
somebody.
Yeah.
That's what you were hired to do, is to help somebody. So when you don't help the people that you're
If you
supposed to
can't
help,
take care of people here, how you going to take care of people abroad?
I
Think
think
about it.
yeah, I understand what you're saying as far as the army goes.
So as far as the army,
The whole army goes.
As far
And
as far as the army, these idiots that are all fucked up
And I
can
say
go
that-
to other countries and rape women, and it's
I
okay.
I say that not as the army as a whole, but the people that are in the army that go in there and do shit with bad intentions, and those people should be held accountable. And as hard as it is to get into the army and go through all of it, you know, sometimes one or two slip through, you know, just like any other organization, and just like anything else.
You know how they slip
But
through? Because they're psychological. They know what to say.
But just as they slip through, the people that come forward and have the courage to come forward and are doing it, even though they know they're gonna be judged and, you know, like singled out for coming forward and saying something, the people that are in place to help the people that come forward should do their fucking job and help these fucking people.
Honestly, what I think what happened is she went to a higher up, he got in trouble and beat the shit out of her, and then they didn't want to make it a big deal.
Okay.
Because this has happened before, because you've seen other people get buried around there.
So that's another thing.
There's a piece of shit out there.
Right?
There's a piece of shit out there that thinks lives are dispensable.
So this is another thing.
Because they think they're so powerful.
So
life doesn't mean anything. Hold on. Yes.
So right before they found her body, I think like the day before they found her body, there was a guy that was killed outside of it. He was burnt alive outside of his Jeep, right outside of the base, and that was right before they had, I think they had investigated. They were talking to the suspect that they thought had killed her, and I think that same day, I guess, like some guy was found burned alive outside of his Jeep, or some shit like that. And then when the guy that they were suspecting committed suicide. I forget what the fuck his name is.
Yeah, he shot himself.
Oh yeah, it was a Leon River. This is that motherfucker right there. I'll bring it up, but it's you know. And then, as the story goes, is that he killed her, like just fucking beat her to death.
He her with a hammer.
Yeah, he beat her to death, and then put her in a Pelican case. Which, if you ever seen a Pelican case, it's fucking huge. It holds big fucking weapons, right? And then he carries her out, I guess, after his shift, takes her, starts calling this girl right here his girl, I guess. And then they fucking dismember her, take her out to the Leon River. I guess they try to burn her, as you said, and then they couldn't burn her, so they start putting her in concrete and burying her. Damn, that sounds fucked up. Burying her body, you know?
Well, they dug a grave.
Yeah, and that's the only reason. And then when the investigators were looking into them and seeing where they were that night.
Who was that?
That's the guy that killed her. That was her like special operations army. She was going to go drop off a form to him.
Let me ask you a question.
She said something about him cheating or fucking around with another soldier's wife, as the story goes, and then
If that guy would have been white, would there have been more protests?
But see,
I don't believe so. Like, I don't believe so.
She told her mom that he was a sergeant.
He is a sergeant, right?
No, he's not.
He's not?
No. So they were like, wait a minute, but the sergeant was the one that was harassing her, sexually harassing her and everything. So we're like, that's why there's so many holes in that story, because the sergeant...
So then...
Well, maybe she lied because she was, like, scared too, though.
But they said they had 3 suspects.
Mom. Why would she lie to her mom and say there's a sergeant that keeps on...
Even the sister said it.
Yeah.
And she had put a complaint, right?
Yeah.
So...
I think they just fucking...
No. I think the story got wrong, because even her sister said in the last article that I read, even her sister said that he was the one that she was complaining about. This guy here.
Nah.
No, in the article.
She was complaining about the sergeant.
He was a guy.
He's not a sergeant.
I know he's not a sergeant, but he was.
Like, she knows her ranks.
Yeah.
Like,
But
she, like, I don't know. There's so many holes in that story. Like,
It really is.
And
I wish I could read the article right now, but
that one military.
But he was
Fort Hood is known. Like, he's always been.
I think there's been like 4. I think there's been more than 4 disappearances there.
Because there was also a male that
went missing last year. That's what we were talking about earlier. And then the guy that got burnt alive last week. So I think the fucked up thing about it is that damn.
But dude, like, I mean,
You
that right there is just like, that's why there's gonna be a lot less more people enlisting in the army.
There already is.
Yeah.
You know that there already is, right? Have you seen the new?
I'm glad. Maybe somebody should fucking do something about
Have you seen the new army enrollment videos that they're doing? They look like video games. The new army enlisting videos, they look like fucking video games. They look like you're about to play Modern Warfare, or you're gonna play fucking like some Call of Duty, some fucking game. Because they're trying to get to the kids that are playing fucking video games. Because nobody's enlisting to the army no more. Nobody sees that as a viable option for themselves, you know?
I wouldn't send my child out there. Fuck that.
I wouldn't. If my sons wanted to join the army, I wouldn't hold it. I wouldn't say anything. I'd be like, "That's what you want to do? Do it." Me personally, I would have joined the army. But I can't say that the whole army is fucking corrupt.
No, it's not.
Because it's something that's happening in Fort Hood.
But sometimes there's a few people that
there's bad people out there, and that's what that's what this falls on. And that's another thing that you said. If it was a white officer or if it was a white soldier that had killed her, would have been big protests. That's a lot of things that's going on social media right now. That if it was a white,
pretty sure if it was
a white officer that had killed her, there would have been big protests towards the military.
That's why I feel.
I think that's stupid to say. I think that's stupid to say because
the media controls the way we feel sometimes.
No, it's people out there. Well, I'm pretty sure. You're right because it was probably something that the media put out there, and then people were sharing that shit on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. But what we're forgetting is that this didn't. The whole reason that people started looking into her was not because of violence. She was being mistreated against anything, She was being harassed by somebody. I think what we should focus on is taking claims more serious, taking claims towards women more serious.
How long was she missing until it became really like public?
A month.
They fucking found answers out quick.
Like, it was a month.
And
even in the articles, but that's why I said even in the articles, the guy that they went to go talk to, he was a suspect from the fucking beginning because she had said that he was harassing her and like looking at her a certain way, so she had filed
in the shower.
Yeah, and that was him. and that's why they had him as a suspect at first, and then they were looking into his shit. I don't know if they would have done anything as like on the army base. I don't know if they would have done anything as far as pursuing it, because I don't know how corrupt that fucking army base is, you know. But
either way, it could have been avoided. She went to a complaint and she ended up dying.
But
it's that simple. I'm done with this.
Yeah,
It pisses me off.
I don't think it should be. I don't think this should be categorized as one of those.
Belong to proportion.
I don't think
they would have did their goddamn job.
That's what we need to be going after, not the fucking Black Lives Matter, not that bullshit, not that. You know, it shouldn't be about Black Lives Matter with her. You know, it shouldn't be about that. It should be about women being protected. You know, it should be about that, not Black Lives. It should. This is not a Black Lives Matter issue. Just because a black man did something, it shouldn't affect the Black Lives Matter movement.
I just feel maybe there was more than just one person that was sexually.
It was also a white girl that fucking dismembered the body.
Yeah.
This is not a Black Lives Matter movement. This is an issue with higher ups within a
higher ranks.
Yeah, with the higher ranks. It's something that should have been followed up. You know, something should have been done with the people that handle complaints against sexual harassment.
The minute that she told the mom, and the mom
something should have been done.
Complained about that shit. That's when they should have.
When she filed the complaint and said that she was being harassed, something should have been done.
Also
she should have
probably just tried to get out.
The whole reason that she was at Fort Hood was because she moved there to be with her mom. You know, something should have been done. Another shift, something. You know.
Did you see the interview with the mom? Man, she was like really, really pissed off, and she was talking in Spanish.
Yeah.
And it kind of like reminded me of like maybe my mom or my aunt talking and shit like that, and she was really like frustrated. Like she was like, "I want her back, and I want her back alive," and shit, you know.
Yeah. And the sister too, you know. My sister's lives matter, you know. She's a person.
Yeah.
She's a human being. It's true, you know. Like it's that whole situation at Fort Hood. It should have been avoided. It could have been avoided. It could have been if people would have took her complaint seriously and not just shrugged it off as another woman just saying, just taking things the wrong way. You know, I feel like that. You know. You allow these women in the army. When they have a complaint, they have something to say about somebody else. It should be heard. It should be taken serious. You know, even though you guys are going through the same training, know the same information, know the same tactics that every other person does, don't forget that a man can overpower a woman at any time.
You know, it would be a good source to talk about how things are. It would be Sean, because he's,
yeah.
It'd be a good source to talk.
And he was down there, right?
He's still down.
He's down in Fort Hood?
No, not Fort Hood. No, he's in Louisiana, I think.
But he was in Fort Hood, right, for a little bit?
I don't know.
I thought he was down there.
I don't know.
It would be nice. Maybe we should call him next time.
Uh-huh.
Let's call him now. Call him.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, so the next thing, man. I know Hector fucking abandoned ship. But the Redskins, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Gonna change the name.
I don't like that.
I mean, you know what? Maybe it'll bring winning. Different name, different culture. Maybe it'll bring. It'll finally break the curse.
What? Okay.
I don't see how it's now. I mean,
You've been with the Redskins how long?
shit. I want to say maybe 20 years now.
I've been with the Redskins since I've known football, so that's like,
About
I'll
20
say,
years too, right?
yeah, just about. Because that's
Believe
what
it
I
or
grew
not,
up on.
When I was a teenager, I was a Cowboys fan.
I think I was.
But that's when they were like winning Super Bowls and shit.
Nah, I was always
I didn't know no better.
I was always a Redskins fan, but I always liked the Steelers, you know? For the colors. But the fucking Redskins are what the fuck DC is, you know?
Or even
It shouldn't be
RFK,
anything else.
RFK Stadium, the people of RFK said we will not allow the Washington Redskins to come and build a stadium or come to RFK if they don't change their name.
Protesters.
I don't know.
So how did this shit started? What, like 2 years ago, right? A year ago.
There's been petition for Redskins to change their name way back.
Really? I heard about it.
2013, Snyder said no way in hell, this and that, will he ever change the name. But now,
Dan Snyder.
yeah, now that his sponsors are like, if you go to the Nike website, and
Well, everything dropped. Everybody
if you go to the
dropped.
Nike website, look for Washington Redskins gear, you don't find anything. Zero results. The
Hey,
only
where do you
team.
think all that? Where do you think all that gear is gonna go?
I don't know.
Because I just went to Dick's Sporting Goods yesterday, and all the
Still
gears
have
are
it?
still on the show.
They're probably gonna take that shit out soon.
But that happened today, right? Where the
Yeah.
Nike just dropped them.
Yeah. Pepsi dropped them. Even FedEx.
Yeah, their own stadium. Cause that's FedEx Field. So, yeah, I can hear that. So now that they're not gonna be the Redskins, what are they gonna be? The Washington Red Tails?
Well, there's names out there being thrown, like Washington Generals, Washington Monuments, Red Tails.
But they already have they already have a logo for the Red Tails. It's up here right now. I'm posting it right now on this
I like that
on the
one.
screen. You like the Red Tails?
Yeah. You know
Oh,
why?
no.
Because
Why?
you don't have to change a lot. Like,
But
the Redskins have their fight.
Maybe
song.
they need a change.
You're settling
I'm
for.
saying, yeah, they can change it.
But that's the thing that I was trying to tell you earlier. They're selling for you're selling for convenience.
No,
You're
because
old.
if
Maybe they just need a whole new thing.
If they're gonna
They said that-
change the name, why don't just revamp everything?
Might as well.
what do you mean? Snyder sell a team?
No.
Well, no. I say if you're gonna rename the team, revamp everything. Just new song, new logo, new everything.
There's history. And shit.
I say there's
But
history,
history ain't winning though.
but not even that. It's not even history
wanna-
not winning.
Because even if they change 20 years from now, it will be a history.
Well, because if they change the name to where, it only affects like merchandise, but you have the history behind that, and it matches, it keeps with it.
Okay,
Why
hold on.
not? You know.
When you say history, what do you mean? How would the Washington Red Tails how would the Washington Redskins and the Washington Red Tails history continue in one line?
For their fight song.
Okay,
the
but
fight
you're,
song,
They can
has
always
been
play
I
around.
don't
though.
agree with that, right?
They
Do
can
you
always
agree with
play
that?
it if they want to.
You can't.
No, because they already
the
canceled the
fight song
Redskins.
has Redskins in there.
So
Okay, give
hell
them a
to
song.
the Redskins,
No.
right? So they're not gonna. Why would you?
Okay, well, as good as the song is,
I don't think.
it has not helped them win.
I don't think that.
It hasn't helped them win in this decade,
I think you're stuck in your ways, dude.
but
You're still in the 90s.
Yeah, bro. Break out those fucking. What are they called?
He's in the 90s.
I'm all for changing the name
Why?
because it hasn't done like this. I mean, it's been going on for so long now that they want to change the name, and you know what? If all it takes is for you to change the name, maybe, like I said, maybe it'll break the curse that they have of winning and shit like that. A new name, but don't, just because you change your name, don't give up what like the history that the team, where it comes from. Like, you can't
Yeah,
do
Larry,
that.
but
That's whack.
when
No.
they first
You
came up
should.
with it, it
You
was
should.
new.
You
But
should.
They need something different. The thing is, 10, 20 years from now, that's going to be history, regardless of the fact.
Your grandson's gonna be singing that song, and
I like the song. I like the colors.
But it
I
hasn't
like
helped
that.
Okay,
them.
I
we
like
can-
that HTTR. I like all that.
okay,
One thing is what you like,
Yeah.
but do you rather
But I mean,
like a
that's
team?
my opinion.
But
yeah,
but
I understand.
Do you,
You know what
rather
it
them
is?
winning?
Huh?
Don't you rather them winning?
You know what?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
The name is not gonna affect them winning. I think if they're gonna change the name, to the Redskins, they should, and whatever the fuck they choose, they should revamp everything. new song, new gear,
No, well, if that's the
new
case, then you might as
logo.
well just
But something
just sell the team and move it to another city then.
like the Colts did in Baltimore.
All right, well, the Browns when they became the Ravens.
Yeah. Well, that's what
You know?
that's what the Colts were in Baltimore. They moved to where? Where the fuck where did the Colts move to?
The Baltimore Colts became Indianapolis.
Yeah, and then we finally got the Baltimore Ravens because of the fucking Browns, right?
Yeah, Cleveland sold.
And they got what, 2 championships?
I mean,
Because what? Because of what? They changed their name, the logo, everything.
City, everything. So that's what I'm saying. So if you're gonna do all that, then
But
change,
they went like
change it all.
10
Then
years
sell
without
the
a
team,
book.
sell the team and fucking, move on. Then if you're gonna do that. But if it's just gonna be the name,
the second you change the name, it's no longer the Redskins.
no,
You can
but
keep
the
anything.
I think
as long as you want.
tradition is always there.
I think
Sometimes traditions change.
we're gonna have to, if they because we lost all our sponsors, we lost everything. We have no choice but to get rid of the name. Now all our jerseys, all our shit is all memorabilia.
Man,
We don't have
it's gonna be good shit to 20 years.
all
from
we
now,
have
I can't remember
now-
when it was the Redskins.
all we have
I
now.
still got RG3's jersey.
My kids are gonna remember the Redskins. That's all I care about. All we have now is a history of what the Redskins, what we grew up with as the Redskins, and now I believe that I'm ready for the new era.
I
A
am
new
too.
team, not a new team, but
Not a new team,
a
but-
new name, a new beginning, a new song, a new everything. I think if
I
we're
feel
gonna
you
if
on
we're
that
gonna
part. I feel you on that part.
if we're really giving into the shit and we lost all our sponsorship, we have no choice but to change our name. Let's move forward. It's like if you're I feel like you're trying to
see what happens.
I feel like you're trying to keep a flip phone and get on Facebook with it. You know what I mean? Like it's time to get an iPhone, bro. It's time for you to come into
Fuck that razor.
we're gonna
All
be
the way.
known as the I don't know. The Washington
I don't know, but I'm done talking about these.
The Washington what? What would you name the team?
I don't know.
I mean, stay in the area, the Washington, whatever they want to call
Is
it.
it natives?
All right.
You see, you're sticking to the old name though. I would say
It's just you know what? This is just the beginning because there's other teams that have like Indian name. Like now in baseball, the Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, the Indians.
They're also now on
the
the
Chiefs.
bubble. The Kansas City Chiefs. In hockey, Chicago Blackhawks.
Mm-hmm.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
This is just the beginning
Snyder
of
has
something.
been profiting from day one.
He's gonna profit a lot once they change it too.
Yeah, but he's been profiting a lot too. So he hasn't really done much because
You know what
he's
we should
always
do?
profiting.
We should start buying stocks and Redskins shit. Oh, in the
Well, it's gonna change the name.
no, in the as far as a new team, start buying stock and shit.
Well, we're an hour in. I think we're good.
I think we should start doing that and get some money, bro.
All right.
Oh, I had one question for you.
What's that?
Do you think, as a man, you eat pussy, right? Do you think that a woman has a long day, right? She has a long day, stressful day, worries here, happy day. A woman's... I'm not going to ask this question because it's so fucking dirty. I'm just going to ask you personally. I'm sorry. You know what? I retract this question, and I think we should just... I'll ask you.
Fuck
I
you,
feel like
I'm out.
I feel like I was about to fuck up everything. All right.
You don't have to do any pussy.
You don't, do you?
No, it's not your fucking business.
I think you don't need pussy.
I'm out, fucker.
This has been H&M, and half of us eat pussy.